Welcome to Scary Stories, the channel that tells you scary stories.
Real-life cannibalistic humanoid underground dweller, Part 2. Submitted by an anonymous listener, read by Peter Bernard. Hi all, this is Part 2 of the letter I got from a lady who lives on the west side of Harlem in uptown Manhattan. If you haven't checked out Part 1 yet, you really should, because we're going to jump in and pick up right where we left off last time. This lady says she and her other friends living in the West 130s are seeing strange man-like but mutated creatures roaming the neighborhood at night. They saw one swim out to the waste treatment plant located off the shoreline, and suspicions are that toxic waste somehow played a part in their coming into existence. As we begin Part 2, the lady had just seen one of the creatures touching the electrified third rail on the subway track just to amuse itself. After she screamed, the creature executed an Olympic-quality sideways leap, and now the lady found herself standing directly in front of some sort of mutated, underground humanoid. Let's now resume the letter. In the lady's words. It growled. This huge man-like thing growled at me. In the blinking fluorescent light, this thing appeared to have grayish-greenish skin, but mottled all over. It had growths everywhere, which were each made of every color of the rainbow. Its completely white eyes did not seem blind, and I felt myself unable to move or even unlock my gaze from them. I could sense it had clothes on, but at the same time it sort of felt like the clothes were... I don't know how to say it. I guess it felt like they were melted into the creature's skin. Like it had those clothes on, then the skin mutated and grew out over the clothes. I'm not saying I observed this specifically because, as I said, I couldn't really take my eyes away from its gaze. These were all peripheral impressions, so I can't swear by them. The monster man opened its mouth to scream and showed an array of teeth, none matching the next one. Then it uttered a bellow, standing so close to me that I could smell its terrible breath. I realized I was blacking out and sat myself down on the concrete before I lost consciousness. When I woke up, I was minus my pocketbook, but otherwise fine. I guess when I fainted, it went away. And then after it was gone, someone stole my pocketbook. Really nice of nobody to help me, but what can you do? I went home to put a stop to my credit cards before much damage could be done, and was too busy over the next few weeks dealing with the loss of my money and personal items to put much more thought into the monster encounter. In fact, it never even occurred to me to avoid that train station or to alert the authorities to the presence of the creatures, if they even would have believed me anyway. It was a few weeks after that. I had just managed to get a new cell phone that day, long story. I was coming home from hanging with my friend, and as I took one step onto the platform at 137th Street, I hesitated. Suddenly I remembered what happened to me the last time I'd been in this station. I stood there, thinking about getting back in. The walk from the next station wouldn't be something I would want to make that late at night. I was tired, it was after midnight, and I just wanted to get home. The car door closed on me, waking me from my reverie, and I jumped out of the train. Walking as quickly as I could toward the exit, I cursed myself for not sitting in the car closest to it. Now I had to practically walk down the entire platform to get out. The train left the station loudly, and I rushed faster. I felt a sort of safety as long as it was still in the station. Once it was gone, I would be alone, as the only other passenger who got off here was already up the stairs and gone. I felt my heart beating faster, and I decided this would be my last time ever in this particular train station, whether I got out safely or not. I was passing one of those large garbage bins they have on the platforms when a rat ran out in front of me, jumping back down onto the tracks. I thought I was going to have a heart attack, but the instant I realized what it was, an immense sense of relief washed over me. At least it wasn't one of those monsters. That relief was short-lived, as now with a crash and a sickening grunt, something else flew out from behind the garbage bin. Something barely missed me by an inch. It was another one of these monster mutant men, and it was chasing the rat. It flung its body onto the tracks, and I heard a lot of scuffling as both the rat and the monster ran across the tracks to the other side and straight into a large fissure in the underside of the downtown platform. A mouse hole. It basically ran into a mouse hole. Looking back at the garbage bin, I could now see that there was a large crevice eaten out of the wall behind that as well. I'm sure I don't have to tell you that I screamed and I ran all the way home. That was the last time I ever used that station, but not the last time I saw one of these creatures. I can give you more stories about these things than you would have time to listen to. What I want to know is, what are they? What if they aren't human beings who mutated? What if these are the trolls of legend? What if these things have always lived underground and only now by accident they tunneled into my neighborhood? But if they are a true species of their own, why do they seem deformed? And why are all their deformities so different from each other? And why have I never seen a female? Actually, maybe I have and I just couldn't tell. I'm not going to move out of my home. I lived here when crime was rampant and my own cousin was robbed right in front of my own building. I'm not going to run away because of some gross human rat things. Maybe the city already is aware of them. I can't imagine that the people who work at the waste plant out in the water haven't seen them. Maybe the things were born there. Maybe they live there. Or maybe they just swim there to feed. I have more maybes about these things than I have facts, but I'm trying to talk my neighbors into joining me and going to see maybe the police or maybe our city council rep. So far, everyone is too afraid they'll be labeled crazy. The general attitude is that the city must know about it already and it's probably already being taken care of. But my super says they're growing in numbers and nobody's doing anything about it. This is my attempt to reach out and alert the public about this phenomenon, but even this I want to do anonymously. I don't mind if you don't believe me, but I hope you tell this story on your show. If I'm lying, then it's just some entertainment for your channel. But if I'm telling the truth, then maybe, just maybe, someone will do something to stop these creatures from infesting our neighborhood and our city. Thank you for your time.
I'd like to take a moment to say that if you have a scary story you'd like to tell us here, you can write Peter at peterbernard.com, or you can call our new Scary Stories hotline number and leave it to us in the form of a voicemail message. It's easy to remember. 804-LESCARY. That's 804-LESCARY, or 804-537-2279.
In my heartbeat, Lord, it hurts. That's how I feel. Walk to work in my flats, change my high heels and change back. Ride to work seems so far, have to stand in subway car.
Check out the audio podcast version of Scary Stories NYC, now available on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and other popular podcatchers. Bigfoot Attacked My Tiny House. Scary Stories by Peter Bernard, Volume 1, now available on Amazon in paperback, Kindle, and audiobook versions. Narrated by PQ Ribber and me, Madeline Starr. Forward by TV's famous Timothy Green Beckley, better known as Mr. UFO.
And if there's anyone out there who can't get enough of PQ Ribber, search in your favorite search engine for PQ Ribber and you'll find plenty of podcasts, music, and weirdness.
See you Friday for our next Scary Stories, every Wednesday and Friday. Plus whenever else we feel like it. Come back for more Scary Stories.